What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Canelo Alverez, Caleb Plant. Get this, the pay-per-view numbers are in for last week's event. Caleb Plant and Canelo Alverez pay-per-view shows on track to reach 800,000 pay-per-view buys. Canelo Alvarez's return to boxing's traditional pay-per-view platform was a bigger success than anticipated. BoxingScene.com has learned that the total buy rate for the Showtime pay-per-view event headlined by Alvarez's 11th round knockout of Caleb Plant has reached 800,000. The total includes only domestic buys in the U.S. through cable and satellite operators, as well as digital sales that have consistently accounted for an increasing number of buys in 2021. The total buy rate for pay-per-view events often takes many months to accumulate. Numerous industry insiders indicate to BoxingScene.com before Alvarez fought Plant on Saturday night in Vegas that their fight would draw somewhere between 500,000 and 600,000 pay-per-view buys, in part because Showtime's 4-fight telecast directly competed with UFC's 268 on pay-per-view. The 31-year-old Alvarez is boxing's biggest star, but he hadn't competed exclusively on pay-per-view since Gennady Golovkin in a middleweight championship in September of 2018 at the T-Mobile Arena. The second Alvarez fight produced approximately 1.1 million buys. Each of Alvarez's 3 bouts before he topped Plant's successfully victories over Callum Smith, Durham, and Billy Joe Saunders were on DAZN, which was much cheaper. So, Canelo Alvarez is back on pay-per-view. He did a lot more than expected. And what does this mean for Canelo? This means that he's versatile. It doesn't matter if he's on DAZN. It doesn't matter if he's on pay-per-view. People will still watch him anyways. And, and it's up to Canelo, I feel. Because if Canelo decides to stay on pay-per-view, continue working with Al Heyman, which I think he'll do, I think this will make him a total new stream of revenue. And there's nothing like success and money talking to make you start walking, okay? Because I think that Canelo Alvarez will see that extra revenue and remember, like, listen, I am still the cash cow. This is a whole new stream of revenue. I can do more with this. I can invest with this particular amount of money because people want to see him. And the pay-per-view was massive. And in fact, it competes with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Their pay-per-view buys were 800,000 to 850,000 pay-per-view buys. So it's around the same ballpark as that particular showdown extravaganza. So, it just shows you that a guy that has been off of the pay-per-view platform for a very long time, right? 3 years? Can still come back and show his dominance in making pay-per-view buys and showing that he's still marketable. His marquee value hasn't left anywhere. And I think if he comes back to DAZN, I think at the end of the day, he'll win anyway, either way. And then he has the 40 million guaranteed. Caleb Plant makes 10, but both of those guys win because they have together generated 800,000 pay-per-view buys. So that's a whole new check on the hands of both fighters, which is great. Okay. Understand something. Pay-per-view is only marketable if you can exceed the expectations of pay-per-view. That's it. If you can't do that, you're taking a loss, or the networks is taking a loss. Okay, and then when they start taking losses, they really start to reevaluate how marketable you are by putting you on pay-per-view versus putting you on a regular network and give you a lower salary for that because the expectations are lower. But it does sound good for Canelo Alvarez being out of the ring, or should I say out of the platform for that long. And it also shows that Al Heyman, gambled and hit pay dirt because he was able to foresee Canelo Alvarez's marquee value. And that's all good for everybody on the table. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Canelo Alvarez creating, and Caleb Plant, creating 800,000 pay-per-view buys. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.